Hadirin ke jingjurib ya kijaka sumar COVID khat khandai hari lum jantia unong yalam kaliang persya Dr. Mukul sama hene ka atrik ujil liu ulalit jurib ya kijaka sumar COVID hanong ba Shillong ki bakentup nadu ka Shillong Civil Hospital ka Sauli ka IIM nong tmai lembat ka pomlum ha kani ke jingjurib na lord Dr. Mukul sama laidon langru ikong amperin lingdo ba Charles Pingrup lembat ba Mohendro Rapsang Dr. Mukul Sangma habai klan bagla pthai khubor hadin jingjureb ulong ba sarkar kampat la ban pimbang pura ya kijaka sumar COVID lembat kiwe kilat jingyara bat kabatiang kalong balarawan sa kawif kabalai kumnu kajela kan le banyak khun persya yakni ka khlam Dr. Mukul ulong ba kajing ai tika yara COVID balapan met yak sarkar jela kalong kabadko bha ba ulapan pau ba kajing ai tika yara COVID kadai benlong salensar.
In continuation to our review meeting which was convened by the Honorable Speaker, where important observations were made and all the concerns were shared with the government. And in view of that, what has been done and what was assured and what has been fulfilled, we wanted to at least know from the ground zero. That's why we definitely needed to go to the ground zero. We went to Giant Hills yesterday, today we are here. Now, certain necessity of ramping up the infrastructure related requirement were required to be done. What we have seen is that it is in the process, still it is in the process. Whatever has been created are there, but what was needed more to save precious lives and to generate that kind of confidence amongst the frontline workers, we are still in the process of implementation. That is one part. Even as you see today, I think all those facilities for oxygenation and other things are still in the process. We have only tried to look at another aspect which is very crucial for us. Now, hopefully from the trend that we see, the second wave should slowly flatten. But what is on ground zero in rural areas is a matter of concern, because yesterday when I spoke to a few headmen of few villages and tried to know what is happening in the respective villages, I was little disturbed to hear that the village had number of members of the families were down with fever. Now there is a reluctance from people to come forward to get testing, to get themselves tested, and at the same time, the kind of conversation, the engagement with the community, which should be done in a more aggressive manner, is probably wanting. Therefore, prevention of the recurrence of this must be assumed upon themselves as government, as per the responsibility vested upon the authorities by the Disaster Management Act 2005. Mitigation, prevention, these are integral part of our approach to deal with any disaster. Therefore, vaccination must be there on time. We will still talk to the government, will still put pressure as maybe felt needed to ensure that this happens. Another aspect is the manpower. Now you see, to handle the ICU when the patient needs this critical care, and even to operate the ventilators, you need trained manpower. Otherwise, you will have ventilators and which are not used, oxygen and ventilators which cannot be operated. So the manpower aspect has to be taken cognizance of, and this is what we have discussed with all the frontline workers, whether it is Civil Hospital Shillong, whether it is in the district civil hospitals. This is one crucial aspect which should be taken care of. We have very limited anesthetists. Okay. Therefore, to further ramp up this manpower who are able to deal with all this operation of ICU and then ventilators, etc., is a matter of urgency, and this aspect has to be immediately addressed. I hope the department, along with the respective hospitals, will have this auditing of the manpower and take corrective measures and ensure that we don't ultimately see that, okay, we are weak there. How do we now ramp up our manpower? It cannot be done overnight. That's why it has to be done in advance. way the virus will manifest, the target groups of the virus, maybe from what we see elsewhere in the world and even in other parts of the country, is that the younger bracket of our age group are falling prey to this COVID-19. Therefore, if our young beloved children become victim, are they prepared? Are the facilities created to deal with the pediatric cases? This is what has been discussed, and so that's what I've said. When they are preparing now, since they have not completed, they must take into consideration the associated challenges of the younger group of our population who can be likely the victim in the third wave. That means if the likely targets are the pediatric patients, they have to be appropriately prepared, and therefore they have to put every system in place which is not there at the moment. Saving precious life will always be our responsibility. Now, when we say saving precious life revolves around all citizens of the state who may be inflicted by different diseases, not necessarily only by COVID-19. But why we are focusing on COVID-19 is because the incidence of the cases are unpredictable, because the transmission chain, if it's allowed to go on uninterrupted, then you will see unimaginable number of positive cases, and whoever develops severe symptoms, they need to be hospitalized. Now what we have seen is that the virus has been attacking people from all age brackets, whether children, whether adolescents, or whether elderly. We have seen that. So it has no discrimination from the perspective of age, nor caste, nor creed. Everybody can be a victim of COVID-19. Now, while these measures should be put in place, keeping in mind the element of surprises in terms of the number of incidents of COVID-19 cases across age group, which can be children also. Therefore, now we should also have facility for the pediatric.